Welcome back across the bridge. It's your host, Jahmal Rashad. We got Keezy Kool in the building. As always, and as you can see, we are trying to bridge the gap between the Globe and Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, all the wonderful, lovely, beautiful people in the city, great talent. And we're just going to keep plugging away, man. And shout out to Keezy. You can see he's a full convert. You know what I'm saying? He was crying about Freddie T shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. Now my man got on the jersey. He got it on backwards so you can see the name. Do you have an autograph there, sir?
I'm not entertaining any of your low vibrational foolishness today. I'm
So
just breaking. I'm just breaking every chain of haterism you want to throw on
thank
me.
you.
Cause
Thank you.
there's no hate. There's no hate in my blood. I
Okay.
just keep it real. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a great football player. And it's the jersey to wear if you a Jacksonville representative, resident. You feel
Hey,
me?
man, you look good. You look sharp. You look like you know what's going on. You look intelligent.
Mm,
I'm expecting great things from you from this show today, man, because you wearing it loud and proud. I appreciate you. I
mm,
offered you the free ticket. You decided to buy the train yourself, and you
mm-hmm.
did. So I appreciate you, my guy. The draft is tomorrow. I'm excited for the show, but real quick, how you feeling, man? You're looking good. How you feeling? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great, feeling beautiful, feeling blessed, man. Just vibing through life, ups and downs, going through them every day. Now I'm just learning how to just float on through them. Just float on, just floating, baby. Just floating through life, ups and downs.
Yeah.
Shout to everybody. You know what I'm saying? How about yourself? How you living?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. It was a long day of traveling, but you got to show up to work, man, especially when you love what you're doing. So
All
I'm
right.
in the hotel room right now.
Word.
After this, I'm gonna go kick it with my wife and some of her family, but I had to come do the show. We got a special guest too, so I'm excited about that.
Word.
I'm actually gonna bring him on, man. We're gonna get to it. So
Do it. Let's do it.
we got our good friend, high school classmate, teammate, brother in football, Ryan Lankford. So I'm gonna bring on our guest, and we're gonna kick it off, man. So let me bring Ryan in here, the playmaker, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hey.
So before we kick this off, I'm gonna do
Ah.
a proper introduction, man. So we have the playmaker, Ryan Lankford. So Paxson, School for Advanced Studies superstar.
Head honcho, number one. Number one.
Honestly, yes.
Head honcho.
I couldn't tell you the history, but in my books, the first ever to me in my eyes to take it all the way and go pro. Shout out to this man. He got a scholarship to the University of Illinois, Champaign. That's how I like to call it, Champaign.
There you go. There you
Champagne.
go.
Champagne.
University of Illinois. Went to the NFL, played pro, spent some time with the Miami Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts. To
Yep.
me,
Yep.
made his way into the Canadian League and got to get some experience there. And then now, taking his realms into real estate. So once again, Ryan Lankford, I look forward to getting
Man.
in, learning more about you and telling your story, man. How you feeling? How's your day been? Good to see you,
Man.
brother.
Thank y'all for having me, bro. This so cool for me because we
Yeah.
go all the way back, like you said, man. And both of y'all I can speak on just took me under y'all wing, and I appreciate y'all because I was always a younger dude with hanging around the older guys playing, varsity doing that. So I just appreciate y'all always showing love because you didn't have to do that. So
Yeah.
that helped me do what I had to do. So, but man, I'm glad to be here, man. God is good. We blessed.
Amen.
And yeah, man, I can't complain. Can't complain.
Man, before I get into it, because first I want to talk about who you are first, and then we can get into where you're at today. But
Okay.
the first day, I realized you were somebody, man.
Oh man.
Because we went to PAX and it wasn't necessarily too much competition.
Right.
One day though, you lined up to me. You lined up against me, man. You ran a deep route, and I almost got left, man. I was like, who is this dude? Because all I knew at first was, all right, he plays soccer and he could kick.
Yeah.
That was all I knew, man. But I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, boy. You made me open my ears up, and I was like,
Hey,
all right, we got something this year. So I don't even
man.
know, wait, if that was your freshman year, your sophomore year, I don't even remember. But
Yeah, it had to be. So I was doing Pop Warner all prior to school. I never played football at my school. I only did Pop Warner. And like you said, I was a soccer player. So I did soccer first. That was really my first sport. But at Paxson, I went out there. That was my freshman year, and did like the summer workouts and stuff. And I think that kind of helped me. And I'm glad that my mom brought me up to the school. She heard about like they was doing summer football training. It was in the summertime, so I feel like I was the only freshman out there. But that was huge for me to just like be back out there, realizing like, okay, like, dang, this is what it's like to play for your school. Like this, this we really doing this now. This if I'm trying to make it all the way,
Yeah.
this is where it really really starts. So that was cool for me, and I was just blessed. Just funny stories, all type of stuff that just happened over time. That's just cool to look back on. So funny story. I was actually talking to one of my guys that's gonna be in my wedding. I was like, hey man, so go to the summer freshman year at Paxson. And my mom drops me off for that summer training. And, I'm trying to learn my way around. And it's similar to what we did in middle school, where like this preparation for success thing.
Yeah.
Drops me off. This coach comes out. Turns out it's Mr. Hodges. He starts talking to me, man, what you here for? I said, I'm here for football. So he starts rapping to me, where you from? You from this side of town? We learning. And he's just about to ask me, like, we talking about what position do you play? Conversation stops because we kind of standing outside, and this big muscular man come walking out. Trey Pig. I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
what position does he play? He said, oh, that's our running back. That's our running back right there. That's our running back. He looked at me, he said, so what you play? I said, receiver. Because I'll play running back all Pop Warner. But then when I seen what a running back really looked like at high school, I said, yeah, okay, I need to play something that looked little my size. So I played receiver and started returning kicks, and yeah, man, just a natural, God given talent, and the rest is really history. That's really where I got on the receiver tip.
Man, shout out to Trey Pig.
Trey Pig, man.
Man, he ended up going to FIU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Think
Man, I
so.
ain't seen Trey Pig in a minute. I hope he doing good, man.
Man, I know it's a few guys I thought of just from way back then. I see Coach Lou, on Facebook sometimes, like, just a couple guys talking and stuff, and I was like, man, those sometimes he got on me a few times, and I was like, oh, that's okay, this is what they talk about, this coaching here, okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite, Coach Lou for sure. So a Jacksonville native, right? Straight out the gates, born and raised, right?
For the most part, so I was actually born in Miami, believe it or not.
Okay.
Born in Miami, born in Weston, which I tell Fort Lauderdale area, which I tell people was like it was Weston when it was just a neighborhood. My dad was playing with the Dolphins at the time,
Yeah.
and then we moved to Jacksonville '95. Probably my sister was born down there, and then my dad started working front office with the Jaguars up here. And that's what kind of brought us up here to Jacksonville. So I did elementary school, middle school, high school, everything up here, but was really born in Miami. So
Word. That's
yeah,
what's up,
man.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, so as a Jacksonville native, I'll call you. What
Okay,
does
for
what
sure.
does Jacksonville mean to you and the person you've become today?
Man, so that's a great question. Jacksonville's cool because I've seen. That's a great question. I've seen Jacksonville grow. Number one, as he said, I'm not playing football anymore, so I've seen what Jacksonville looks like when the Super Bowl was here to what Jacksonville looks like now. Like so many things have changed from Beach Boulevard being 2 lanes to now it's 4 lanes. Like all types of little changes. The stadium, the landing. Like there's stuff about Jacksonville that I know that people didn't even know was available in Jacksonville. So
It's a
that's
fact.
been cool to see. And then what's also been cool for me is my new profession now. I feel I'm giving myself a chance to get back to people, right? Because there's a lot of people that was really riding for me from playing at Paxton to, man, hey, it's that one Paxton kid, he made it to Illinois, and they watching me at Illinois, and like it's cool to be able to like now help some people. I've helped in my business now. I've helped some teachers that I've had. I've helped some coaches that I've worked with, and it's just cool to be in that position to kind of give back and to see it all come full circle. That's what I love about Jacksonville as a whole.
That's what's up, man. Keys, you good? I got a list, man. So
Come
Hey,
on, what's
I'm pretty sure the
happening?
questions going go ahead, rolling. I'm
They
listening.
gonna
so
cover. They go, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you brought up your dad. So he played with the Dolphins.
Yes, sir.
You may have kind of already alluded to this when you talked about soccer being your first sport, but what really inspired you to pursue football? And then did you know at some point, like, man, I could take this to the next level? And what encouraged you to kind of pursue that?
Yeah, well, I always loved football, right? My dad played. My mom, big sports fan too. You know, she's from South Miami, so she's a Miami Hurricane fan, Miami Dolphin fan. My dad played for the Dolphins, so it's like, yeah, I was going to the U. You know what I'm saying? I was orange and blue. I was all that. And then just growing up playing, football in the neighborhood, flag football. But I really got into soccer originally just off of really it was a lot of the neighborhood kids that were doing it, and we knew it was a good sport to kind of get into. And I feel like our nanny that we had way back when I was in South Florida was like, "You should play soccer," and that's what we got him in. And I tell people up front, yeah, you gotta if you got kids, soccer's a great sport, especially at a young age. Teach you, running around, hand-eye coordination, feet balance, everything. So um, that was such a blessing for me to do that. And then for football, playing flag football really built that confidence. Playing at the park, playing at the birthday parties and stuff, and people like, man, like, yo, you pretty good. Playing Pop Warner, being an older lighter and kind of being older. But playing with the weight game and still, making plays, gaining some confidence. Like, yo, you could really do this. So it was just a matter of once I get to high school, like, okay, if I'm really gonna do this, it's time to go. So I've always had a goal to do it, and I've always had a lot of people saying I couldn't do it too, and that helped also because I was a skinny guy. I was a skinny, super skinny soccer player. It's like, nah, he can't play, and I was like, okay, well, when I get my time, people are not expecting me to do good anyway, so I ain't got nothing to lose, So that definitely helped me and kept me going.
And that's real, man, to hear about, you got the love aspect, but then you also got the hate aspect. But being able to turn that into a positive, man, I think that's what's up, man. That speaks to who you are too and your character. Um,
Thank you.
you mentioned making plays, man. Playmakers. When did you get that nickname? And I honestly knew you were a
Wow.
playmaker. I don't know what game of the season this was, but we played Stanton, and it was a kick
Yep.
punt return, and you was you was running both sides of the field. I think it got called back, but you took off on them boys, and I was like, boy, this boy right here, man, we got one right
Yeah.
here, man. But
Yeah.
where did that
Yeah.
nickname come
Definitely.
from?
So, believe it or not, the playmaker name I got kind of, I don't want to say jokingly because I appreciate it when I got the name. So, long story short, my mom grew up in South Miami, and her neighbor was now Sandy Irvin, they became great friends. And they said, hey, when y'all get older, when we have kids, we're going to be each other's godparents. So, Michael Irvin is my god dad because his mom or his wife and my mom were like best friends growing up.
Word.
So growing up, we would go to Disney, we would go to Blizzard Beach, we would do all this stuff, all behind the lines, doing all the secret stuff. And me and his two sons, Michael and Elijah, we would always be joking around. He got two other daughters too. We would always kind of joke around, playing and stuff. And we were walking in this hallway, and we were just doing like walk ball, essentially, like walking, like boom, trying to shake each other, doing stuff. And Michael's right there, yeah, okay, okay, Ryan, get him. Boom, switch. Michael turned, boom, boom. He said, okay, okay, playmaker, playmaker. He said, yeah, you the playmaker. And it wasn't nothing serious,
Yeah,
but I just remember him saying that and then getting older, a little bit older, and then realizing, like, oh, they really called him the playmaker when he
playmaker.
was playing. So I was like, dang, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like, I'm a roll with it. So I just kind of kept it to myself and started rolling with it. And then social media came, and I was like, dang, I need a screen name. Like, I'm not gonna just, I'm not a. One thing about me, I really don't like to talk about myself. Like, I'm not. That's not who I am. Like, I'm a team player. I'm just glad when we win, we all gonna win. Everybody gonna get some. Everybody gonna get a ring. Like, I
yeah.
appreciate the other guys that did what they did for me. But when I was like, man, I gotta make a name that's just me. I was like, I'm gonna do the playmaker. Boom, playmaker. And at the time, my freshman year, I had number 80. And then Jimmy Marlowe had 3. Jimmy Marlowe was y'all class. Jimmy Marlowe left. He was like, hey, yo, you got to get 3 next year. And for me, as a younger dude, it's like, yo, that boy gave me the 3, and he was nice. I'm still a freshman trying to find my way.
Yeah.
Shoot, dang, I really got to turn up. I really got to go. So then the screen name came, Playmaker 3. Boom, that was the first one. And then when the college came number 12, I was like, shoot, how can I get 12 out of 3? I'm already the Playmaker. Oh, well, just multiply times 4. Three times four, boom, that became the new screen name. So now I just been rolling with that since forever. So that's really where the playmaker name came. Got it kind of as a kid, probably nothing serious, but it meant something to me. And I just roll with it and try my best to live up to the name.
Man, I ain't expect that one, man.
Yeah,
Me neither.
yeah.
Me neither. That's crazy.
Hey, playmaker, yeah, Michael Irvin. You talking
Yeah, so yeah, it
about?
really
That's
I'm
what's up.
blessed, man. I really am. It's
Yeah,
cool. I got stuff in my room that's, signed from him, like old just old hats, 90s hats, just stuff. And we went out to a game when I was really, really young. I really don't remember it at all. But my mom was like, "Yeah, like we was out there. Like, yeah, you seen it. Like, yeah, we went to when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
hmm.
Went out to that. Met Deion Sanders, met Troy Aikman, like in the little I got my mom got all these pictures of me when I was younger. Meeting these guys, and that definitely helped fuel like, man, like I could do this. Like,
Right.
my dad did it, my god dad. I don't know how that happened, but he's my god dad and he like going to Hall of Fame, like, yo, I could do this. Like, I gotta make it. I gotta make it. Everybody says I can't do it. I gotta make it. I gotta make it. And that's just been me. That's been my whole life.
Word.
Man, that's real, bro. I know, like, even some episodes and even offline, me and Markel always talk about like positive influences on young black men. So I can really hear the positive influences on you, man, and what kind of
Yeah.
inspired you and instilled greatness in you. So it's cool to hear that backstory. I would assume just based on my observations of you
Yeah.
and seeing
Yeah.
you move and how you move, but it's cool to hear that backstory. That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I gotta, I mean, I think there is a misconception because my dad did play that, oh man, he probably had it easy. And like, I had it easier, I think, because I was blessed with a father that, was in my life, and everyone didn't have that blessing. My parents are still married, like those type of things. And then my dad being able to, take us to football games, drive here, like do those things. My mom was able to, so that type of stuff. But it was a challenge, like, going to middle school, not playing football for the school, and I'm black kid, what I'm saying? I'm playing soccer. And kids like, oh, y'all don't play soccer, and I'm like, what you mean y'all play soccer? Like, so that was boom a struggle too. Then getting to high school, like I just remember, and again, I never thought about this till recently today. Like I used to be I didn't. So I was the only freshman on varsity, which I loved, but I'd never liked to like tell people that. So on Fridays when we were supposed to wear our jerseys, I was like subconscious to wear my jersey because I ain't never had played football before for none of the school.
Mm.
And now all of a sudden, who who you think you are? And I never was trying. I ain't want to make nobody feel, but like I'm not here to do that. Y'all. I'm just here to. I'm trying to make it NFL, bro. Like I'm just like y'all want to be my friend or not? Like I'm not on nothing, So that type of stuff, I just had to grow through those things. So at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to be where I'm at. Was able to do what I was able to do. And definitely hit some roadblocks along the way each year, which we could get into from college to pros to everything. There was big roadblocks that I had to learn things quick and adjust.
Man, you good? You good, Keith?
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead now. Speaking to the roadblocks, if we get into that, right? I
Yeah,
remember. I'm just gonna speak about. I remember freshman year, your freshman year, of course. Like
yeah.
all of us, our freshman year at Patterson, your grades was terrible. All of our grades was terrible. Like I remember
All
freshman year. I remember freshman year, bro. My GPA was a 1.7. I couldn't even play
Boy,
football. I couldn't play ball if I
boy.
wanted to. I remember homies had a point 0.7. I remember me and Journey, because you was in our class. We was like AP Hug or something.
oh
And we
man.
see your report card. We like, dude, we were like, Ryan, what are you doing? What are you doing here, bro? Like, your grades was terrible. So I'm asking you this because
Yeah,
most of the really talented football players who came to Patterson left freshman year. They got
yeah,
up out of there. So a
yeah.
lot of the people were reason we wasn't never like Stan. Like Stan wasn't never on our level really
Wow.
sports wise. You seeing it now in the
Yeah,
present.
yeah,
Patterson's pretty decent. Stan still ass, right?
yeah, yeah.
But I want to know what made your father them keep you at Patterson,
Wow,
knowing your goals and your talent and what you
wow,
had. What made them keep you at Patterson?
bro. Great question. Great question. So. My folks is big on education. My mom's a teacher, right?
All right, okay, say
And
less.
you know, my dad got his degree. I don't even know what my dad got a degree in, but he went to college, got his degree. And I was always taught like, hey, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get your degree. Sports are secondary. And
Mm.
I had I got a black mama, right? You bring a C home in conduct, boy. I'm not sending you there to okay. So I had one of them. So it was no failing out going to a different school.
Right,
It
right,
was why you not applying yourself?
right,
What are you doing? So I knew I had to it wasn't no you're not passing. You gonna
right,
pass. You gotta pass because that's you. And I also looking back like, you know, was struggling kind of with identity of like, okay, do you want to be the cool, funny kid? Do you want to be the athlete? You can't do everything, which you learn later on. Like, yo, you can't do both. You gotta you either gonna apply yourself or you not. There's no
right.
like, oh, he applies himself and he's a class clown. Nah,
Got it.
it
Sure
don't work
not.
like that. You either one or the other, no matter how hard you try. So that was one thing. And then another big thing was this is a story that I talked to with a lot of kids. So my sophomore year, can't really get recruited until like your junior, senior year. Sophomore year, get a call to the office. Somebody's here to see you. Walk into the office, is a scout. Got on a Georgia Tech shirt. And I'm like, dang,
Man, that's what's up.
what he doing here? Comes in, hey man, my name is Coach such and such, such and such. Uh, you know, we were stopping by, we seen some other kids in the area, but we wanted to come and just chat with you real quick. And I'm like, yeah, like, okay. He said, so, we got you on our radar, we looking at you. But one thing, your GPA, we can't do nothing with that. And I was like, what you mean you can't do nothing with that? He said, "Look, so when you get to college, a lot of kids don't know, but you got to be eligible. You got to remain eligible. So you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to make it to college and be eligible? You got to step your game up. Or if you don't, that's fine. You don't have to, again, I was seeing some other people. That's not the words he used, but that's essentially what he was saying. Like, yo, you got to apply yourself.
Right,
And that same day or around that same time, I had to sign a paperwork because you had to pass English and math each year essentially to like get to the next grade. And
right,
both of those was borderline for me. So I had to sign on a sheet of paper that said like, hey, I understand that if I don't pass, I'm gone. Like I got to go to my neighborhood school. So I had to like write my initials on this line, write my initials on another line, sign on this page. And I was like, yo, I gotta, cause got that
And
black mama,
what was your neighborhood school?
Sandalwood.
Okay, okay.
But I
Mine
would
too.
have, but I would have tried to go to Fletcher. My mom was a teacher. I went to elementary school at Jacks Beach. I had a combination. Like I played Pop Warner at Pablo Creek. So some guys went to Sandalwood, some guys went to Fletcher, some guys went to Bishop Kenny. All that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to go to Fletcher because I was already going to elementary school at the beach, and I really wanted to go to Fletcher Middle because they had a better football team. Then I would go to Fletcher High School. Boom, and I'd have been off to the races, live out in the beaches. I'm like, man, this bro, they got the purple. Like that's so cool. I remember writing a paper in elementary school, like where I wanted to go to middle school was like Fletcher Middle. I'm like made all the stuff purple and everything. Mom
Right.
was like, nah, we trying to get you to college, like you get college degree type of stuff. So I'm so glad that I stayed at Paxson, fought through that. Had some teachers at Paxson that really set the standard for a lot of stuff too, which is cool. Open house, first class open house English. Love the teacher now, Miss Yon.
Miss Young.
Get in
That was a
there,
crazy lady.
get in there. You know, respect. If we Facebook friends still, so shout out to Miss Yon.
Shout out to Miss Young.
That
She
was a crazy lady,
she's
man.
doing. She was wild. She was wild. So she's doing. The introduction. She's like, welcome. This is first class. Welcome to Paxton School for Advanced Studies. And then it's like, this ain't the school for advanced basketball. School for advanced this. School for advanced football. School for advanced tennis. This school for advanced studies. You're here to get your
Right,
education. Yada 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 yada. That was
Yeah.
your spiel. Me as a kid, I'm cool. I'm just chilling. I'm still play football. I don't care what you say, ladies. Freshman year, my dad talked to her afterwards. And my dad, he a soft spoken guy. He don't really do too much. But this is one of the things that he said that really stuck out to me. He stopped, talked to her afterwards. We go to the next class and he was like, yeah, I told her, like, if you set the bar at a certain height, that's where the bar gonna be. he said, so you got to set the bar higher so people can achieve that high bar. She said, if you going in here saying this is just passing school for advanced studies, what if you got somebody who can play basketball that can be great? This can be Paxton School for Advanced Studies that got a great basketball team. This can be Paxton School for Advanced Studies that got a great football team. He said, if you leave the bar low, you only gonna get those type of results. And I was like,
Right.
dang, gotta make
That's
it.
all they got, and it's crazy because that's all they got during our years. But now
Yeah,
you see
Yes.
passing representing these days. Though
Yes.
yeah,
basketball, football, we up there now. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So
So
it was like, oh, I gotta make it now. Teacher said she didn't really say I couldn't do it, but when my dad had that conversation with me as we was leaving in the car, me and my mom, my sister, and I was like, dang, like, yeah, I gotta do it. And then everyone also too, why you not going to Bowles? Why you not going to Jackson? Why you not going to Bishop Kennedy? Why you not going to Bowles? Wasn't trying to give enough money. Jackson and all that stuff was far because Sullivan tried to get me when I was running track. He was like, hey, man, come on to Jackson. No, no, no. Too far.
right,
So it didn't work. But I'm glad I stayed at Paxton. I wanted to stay at Paxton too because of middle school. I went to Darnell Cookman. A lot of the
right.
homies from Darnell Cookman was at Paxton.
Represent
You know,
DC. Yes, sir. So yes, sir.
not that other school. You feel me? But it is what it is. Um, but
Oh,
yeah, so I wanted to stay at Paxton. I went there. I looked at both Stanton and Paxton. I was like, yeah, I ain't going to Stanton. Nope.
Right. We ain't doing
Nope.
stand.
Nah,
We
we ain't
not
going
doing
to Stanton.
stand.
We're not
no.
going to Stanton. I can't do it. So, but yeah,
Let me
that's
ask
what.
you this: what made you choose stand over? What made you choose passing over stand?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. We went to both of the little interviews. They talking, did the whole thing. We came to our Jimmy Marlowe talk. Everybody talking. Everybody doing the stuff. Um, And the one word that stuck out to me, I remember who was saying, I don't know if it was a guidance counselor or something, but they was like, yeah, here at Paxton, we're here for your success. We got safety nets in place. And I was like, safety nets. I'm gonna need that.
Right. That's real. That's real. That's real.
I'm gonna need that because like coming from middle school, I know I can do it. I know I can do it, but I know if it's that one day that I can't do it, I need that safety net. I
That's
need that
real.
safety net to hold your boy up, keep me going. So that's really what made it. And then a lot of people that I was hanging with at middle school was like, yeah, we trying to go to Paxton. We trying to
Yeah.
go to Paxton. I was like, yeah, I like Paxton too. The Eagles, that's better. I'm not trying to be no devil and nah. The blue and gold, I like that colors. I was like, yeah, this cool. The Eagles cool. The school seemed more like the people I was trying to kick it with, right? Stanton didn't really feel like that. I knew I was gonna get a good education both places, but I was trying to play football. I was trying to make it to the NFL, and I was like, yo, I can't do it from Stanton. Paxton gonna be hard, but I got a better chance from Paxton.
Yeah. Definitely.
No, that's real. And again, I think that's why I have so much respect for you because I always felt like Paxton had the talent, but we
Yeah,
didn't necessarily had a mindset or we never saw it. So for you to me to be the first, I'm just gonna call it to me it's the first to
thank
break
you,
through that mode and really have that vision and see it through. I got nothing but respect for you, bro.
thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
And for context, for people who may not be from Jacksonville who watch this episode, when we talk about Paxton and Stanton, like these are actually top schools in the nation at one
Top
point.
five.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top
Top
five
five.
academics,
Academics.
easy.
top five academics in the nation, not
Yep,
just Jacksonville, not just Florida, but in the nation. So it wasn't just a cakewalk to get through it academically. It did really require a lot from you. So again,
mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
testament to Ryan and what he was able to accomplish starting off from freshman year.
Yeah, them AP classes, all that stuff, and you had to take them, and you
You had
had
to,
to pass
you
them. Like it
had
wasn't no like
to,
just oh you ain't
had
passing. Nah, you gotta pass it to go to the next grade. Like what?
to. 100%, man.
Crazy.
So your success, right? We hear, sound like you said sophomore year, Georgia Tech starting to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out to you and reach out. What was it like going through that recruiting process where you really realized, like, all right, I'm gonna get in shape as far
yeah,
as my academics? People are actually looking at me. What was that journey like to eventually land on, hey, I want to go to Illinois and take my
yeah,
talents there?
yeah. Well, it was super cool, bro. So like in my quiet time, I like playing video games, right? So NCAA, Madden, but I was big time on NCAA. I love college football. I've always loved college football, just from watching Devin Hester back in the day, watching the U, Willis McGahee. Like I loved football and I loved college football because it was like, man, all these schools, all these atmospheres. Like
Right.
that's what I'm trying to do. So it was it, I'm like I love being able to have the opportunity to go to Illinois, right? And what was cool for me was being able to live out the dream that I knew I could do, right? Playing on the video games, it was like, man, one day I might not have to create myself. Like I might actually be able to be on this joint myself,
That's a fact.
and that was something that when I got to Illinois, like my freshman year, we all went to on Green Street was kind of like the main street, but they had a GameStop on Green Street, and they was like, "Yo, are y'all doing the midnight release for NCAA whatever year it was?" They was like, "Nah, 'cause we don't have enough people." We was like, "Enough people? What? The whole team gonna come out here if y'all do this?" They was like, "For real?" We was like, "Yeah." So they did a midnight release. It's about 25 of us that walked to it, got the game, came back, went in the dorm, turned it on. Everybody numbers up there. Stuff was wrong, numbers was wrong, but like
Boy,
Aaron,
hey, I seen your speed. I was like, hell no, nah, they ain't
yeah,
get his speed right. They ain't get his speed right at
What
all.
was it? What was
like it was like 84,
88 or
84
something
or
like that. I'm like,
something.
nah, I ain't running
Yeah,
that speed,
it?
man.
You gotta earn
86
your stripes,
something.
man. You gotta earn your stripes.
Exactly. It's all right. I was like, it's all right. I'm on the game. I'm on the game. I'm on the
Yeah,
game. It's
yeah.
cool.
Shoot.
Word.
The number was wrong, but yeah. So that was motivating for me to be like, man, I really got a shot at doing this. And then I had help, right? I had coaches in place. I've had great coaches at every key time in my entire
Mm.
career, which we can go over. At Paxton, Coach Lou. Boom, Lou freshman year, he wasn't there forever, but
Yeah.
he was coaching hard,
Yeah, he was a
dropping
great coach.
MFs, coaching ball. He was real deal like a college coach
Favorite
before.
coach. Yeah.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? So that just seeing how he moved and coach, I was like, dang, okay, he know football. Like, dang, this is cool. Different coach. And then the next time I learned something, whoever came next, Coach Carroll. Coach Carroll really got us gear. And I was like, okay, he kind of cool. He okay. He is what he is. I can rock with him, do
Yeah,
whatever. I'm doing my thing. And then Coach
cool.
Alford came in. Then when Alford came in, was that
Okay.
Alford came in the next year? Maybe Carroll did 2 years, maybe I don't remember. But
He did 2 years.
Yeah, he did 2 years. Coach Alford came in with Lundy, all them other guys, and Coach Alford played in the NFL, went to
Mm.
University of South Carolina, so he knew that like, yo, this is what it's gonna take. This is what it's.
So that was your senior year coach.
That was my
He-
senior year
yeah.
coach.
All right, okay.
Yeah, because junior year was Coach Carroll still.
Mm.
And I was making plays, getting enough tape there. I had sophomore tape. I put sophomore tape out too, just so like putting it on YouTube. Fun fact: all the high school football tapes that I have out there are my mom in the stands,
Right.
hand recording that I just cut up literally in my parents in the office and made all my highlight tapes.
Word.
That's
Shout out to
how
Mom Duke. Shout out to
Mom
Mom Duke.
Dukes, and she's like, yeah, it calmed my anxiety when I was just focusing on this and not like actually watching you run around. So yeah, all those films are cut up of me, and yeah, that's how I got the word out. Any mailers that we got, we had a little sticker, boom, that said, see, more at YouTube, Ryan Lankford / Ryan Lankford. Boom. It didn't matter where it was. We was filling it out. Norfolk, Virginia, it ain't matter where Ryan Lankford, where position, communication agreed, boom, boom, boom. Mail it back. Like anything that we would get when mail was coming in, mail was coming to the school, a lot of junk mail, junior day stuff. But anything that was like, fill out your information, somebody was like, yo, always fill it out, even if you don't want to go. That's what my mom was like.
That's a bar right there, man. Like
My
that's
mom was
that's
like,
that's a bar.
she was like, fill it out. She was like, fill it out. Even if you don't want to go, we taking anything. And I was like, you're right. We was getting stuff. I'm like, I'm not trying to go. She said, fill it out. We was sitting on the table on the counter. She was writing it. And again, I thank my mom because there's a lot of people that I know didn't make it as far as they could because safety nets weren't in place.
Mm,
My mom was at my parents have been that safety net for me. I
right.
like it's crazy. Like I'm so blessed that my mom just doing stuff. And she was like, nah, and guess what? You still gonna apply for schools too. I was like, wow, I'm hopefully gonna get a scholarship. So I applied to Florida State, applied to all these schools. I ain't get in. Luckily, I got a football scholarship.
What?
And I probably didn't do the best on the application because I was like, man, I'm getting a football scholarship. Like I'm just doing this to keep moms happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was cool for me getting letters, because Pat was getting a lot of letters at that time too for basketball.
Mm.
So we'll get, they
Y'all two was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pillars for
same
real.
age,
Both of
bro.
them.
Same
He
age,
got a
Did
good
same
y'all have somebody?
time.
too.
Did y'all have somebody in baseball too who was dope? Or was
Um,
that Pat in baseball? Was Pat good in baseball too?
well, Clevenger was in y'all grade.
I don't know
What?
what that even
He,
is.
he played with the Cleveland
Yeah,
somebody, Cleveland something.
yeah.
Nah,
Clevenger,
I
he
think he
older
was in
than us.
'09. I think he was
I,
in '09.
yeah, and I feel like he's still playing too
Yeah.
somewhere. I haven't. I got to double check and see. But baseball off my head, I don't truly remember. I know we had a few guys. A few. They're friends of mine. I don't really remember if they continued playing. I think they did get like some college deals and stuff.
I'm talking about David Lee. David Lee, he
David
was in
Lee, that's
'09.
y'all grade.
Yeah,
He
he was
'09. Yeah,
'09.
Oh, we
He was
David
all
Lee.
right.
'09.
Yep.
David Lee's '09.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was good in baseball. So I know them under
Yep.
us. Like
He
y'all,
was.
the folks under us when y'all came in athletically,
Yeah.
we started turning up a little bit.
Yeah. David Lee was nice. David Lee was nice. For real. For real. But yeah, so we was getting letters, all type of letters, all over the place. They would deliver them to Harrington office, and she would give us like a whole stack of stuff. Here you go. There's a new mail. I still got a bunch of them like at my parents' house. I need to throw it away. It's just junk mail. North Carolina. I thought I was going to North Carolina. They were sending me faxes. Dudes calling me the freak of speed. Can't wait to get you up here to Chapel Hill. I'm like, okay,
So
okay.
how many offers did you get?
So I had maybe seven or eight. And
Okay.
again, people at the right place at the right time. I got to Illinois because Coach Alford knew Dan Dish. Dan Dish was a position coach at University of Illinois at that time. His dad used to coach at Ed White, so he would always recruit the Jacksonville area. So
Mm.
boom, Dan Dish came, started talking to me. He was like, "Look, we're gonna get you up there. Zook wants to come see you." We had Ron Zook at the time. He said Zook wants to, meet you. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm really hoping that he's offering me and offers you. We want to get you up there. He was really fighting for me. And he said, "Oh yeah, and another thing. When scouts calling, they gonna ask, like rivals gonna call, scout gonna call, and they gonna ask you about offers and scholarships. He's like, you don't gotta say which ones you got, but you can definitely say the teams that are talking to you." And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So boom, I remember one night, it's like 7:30 at night. I'm in the bed, my phone ringing. I'm like, who is calling me? Like, what is going on? Look at my little Motorola, flip it open. Hello. So, hey man, this is such and such from Rivals. You got a second? My parents down the hallway. I'm like, okay, yeah. What's up? Hey, like who's been talking to you? And I was like, Louisville. I got some information from Kentucky, a few other schools. I'm like, all right, cool, cool, man. Wait, best of luck to you. A few days later on Rivals, they got that I was offered by these schools. And I was like, I ain't got no offer. So I called Coach Dish. I said, he's like, yo, they offered you. I was like, no, they didn't. He's like, did you tell them on the phone? I was like, yeah, I told him on the phone. Like, the people were talking to me. He's like, yeah, these scouts don't know anything. He said, but it'll help you. So then when I
Right.
went up to my Illinois visit, Illinois offered me. And then I loved it up there. I love, the atmosphere. And then boom, I committed to Illinois.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get more offers after the Illinois offer. I was like, man, Miami gonna call. I know they gonna call. I know they gonna call. Nope, never called. And
Nah.
my dad was like, what you waiting on? I said, well, I'm just waiting to see what can happen. Because I was battling between them. I wasn't gonna just go to FAU. I liked FAU. It was close. It was local.
Hey.
I knew a lot of people already that was there. I was like, okay, that's gonna be cool. I'll be comfortable. I can come jet home if I need to.
Yeah.
My dad was like, but what's long term goal? I was like,
Yeah.
NFL. And he was like, well, I just feel, at this point, FAU is a great school, but it's kind of like small town football. In Big Ten, Illinois, my
Right.
dad went to Penn State. He said, so, Illinois, that's a solid school. Let's at least, go see what happens. So, yeah, that's what happened. My first true offer though was Central Michigan,
Mm.
and they offered me at the University of Florida football camp, which was crazy. We running
Mm.
drills. Coach Gonzalez, which is so funny because years later he became wide receiver coach when I got to Illinois, like year 3 or 4, 3. Practice is over. All these different scouts, all these different guys from all over the state. We just, do a little workout, little camp. Dude walks up to me with a white shirt. He's like, "Hey man, my name is, damn, I forgot his name. I forgot his name." He said, but I'm at Central Michigan, and we want to offer you a scholarship. I was like, "What? Who? Where are you?" He's like, "Yeah, University of Michigan. We've had our eyes on you. We want to offer you a scholarship." I was like, "Cool." So got home. Next thing I know, that thing came in the mail. Like, you've been offered a full ride scholarship to Central Michigan. I was like, "Dang, they really was watching me. That's crazy."
Hmm.
Right.
And then stuff had happened and took the Illinois visit. I was like, well, Central Michigan offered me, so they offered me first. Like, I got to take my official visit up there. Get on, try to call my Beckles who recruited me. Call them, no answer, no answer, no answer. Turn the TV on, see on the ticker, Central Michigan had just fired their head coach. I said, "Ooh, that better, that ain't gonna. They might not have no scholarship for me up there." Then
Right.
committed to Illinois. The rest was history.
That's how it's supposed to be. Everything happened how
Yep.
it's supposed to.
A lot of connections too. A lot of moms, cousins went to Illinois, or oh, my dentist is, yeah, my little brother went to Illinois. Just different, just some people just in my space
Right.
that were
Right.
connected to Illinois, and I was like, okay, maybe, yeah, that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign. And
Right.
I loved it up there. Orange is my favorite color too, quietly. So that was another selling point.
Dope.
Yeah, it's not about me, but that was one of my top schools, man. Urban and design. I was gonna go up there and study that. And
Really?
FAU, man. Some of the reasons you highlighted, but that campus was amazing. You would have played
Yeah.
with Alfred Morris. That
Yeah.
was your running back, though.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But no, that's what's up, man. So, what was the experience like? You touchdown, you finally get to campus. What was it
Yeah.
like to transition, compared to high school to playing in college? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, crazy. So we graduated June 10th, right? We got in the car June 11th, drove halfway to Kentucky, and then drove the other half the next day to Illinois. My parents moved me in the following day, and then they was gone the day after that.
Mm.
So it was like boom, 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 boom. We turned the tassel, put the helmet on. The next day, it was literally, literally like we was moving like that. But the biggest thing when I got to Illinois was I learned that I didn't know football like I thought I did.
Hmm.
I remember them sending us the playbook ahead of time, just kind of start flipping through stuff. And at Paxton, we just doing whatever they tell us to do, but it was very level one. So out here, they talking, splits, and we running this route. We talking protections, coverages, all types of stuff. So that was really a huge disadvantage I feel like I kind of had at that moment. Also, the weight room. Paxton, we had weight training, but it wasn't weight training.
Yeah.
We was coming in the summer for football. They was like, all right, skill position. Y'all on the field, all O-line, D-line, y'all in the weight room. What? I said, oh, we get to run routes? I'm gone. I ain't working out. I'm gone. I don't want to work out anyway. Make my body hurt. So when I got to Illinois, I learned like, these boys lifting.
Yeah.
And you got to do it because we these grown men out here. Like, you got to do it to protect your body. So weight room was a struggle. I definitely got clown a lot of like, yo, he only got such and such on the bar. Yeah, and hurting doing it, squatting, barely nothing, hurting. But
Oh,
when it's time to
man.
run, he rolling, he
Yeah.
rolling. So that was definitely a thing. But football for me, at Illinois, learning concepts, schemes, structure, right? Being a college football player on your own, like, yo, okay, we got Coach Petrino, another great coach at the right time, taught me how to be a leader. He said, listen, you don't got to say a lot to be a leader. You can lead through action. He said, we got you up here. And I don't know if he was talking to me on a mentorship thing or he saw potential in me. He always said that I reminded him of Harry Douglas. He used to coach at Louisville as well.
Okay.
That's how he met Harry Douglas. So he connected us my freshman year, gave me some pointers and stuff. But he was like, you can always be a leader through actions. You don't have to say nothing. So when he said that, I was like, okay, I could internalize that. And I was like, I don't have to be the loud mouth in the front. I don't have to do that. I can just work and do what I need to do. And that is leadership. And that was a game changer for me because I'm social, but I'm not trying to be out there in front of everybody all the time. Like, that's not who I am all the time. So that learning football was a huge thing up there. Defenses, reading defenses, organization, knowing like, okay, we got practice at this time, and hey, you can't have no classes after, or all classes got to start after 11 because we got practice in the morning. And then the next year was like, oh no, classes can start before 11 because we're gonna have practice in the afternoon. They gotta be done by 3. And also tell your teacher that you're not gonna be there on Friday because we got Wisconsin on Saturday in the morning and we leaving on Friday. So, so all that adjusting at what how old were we? 18 years old as a freshman. Like we came in and played as freshmen. Like Zook brought us in, which I always respect. My class, there was a lot of us that played as freshmen. And that was crazy. Cause I really didn't think I was gonna play, to be honest. Again, subconscious, just like, my own, insecurities about my weight, my size,
Yeah.
what people been telling me my whole life. You a soccer player, skinny player. I'm like, nah, I need time to develop. And if they had an opportunity to be like, hey, do you want to play? I'd have been like, nah, I'm cool, like learning. But Zook was like, nah, you playing. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, yes, you out there. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. Let's go. So then, so yeah, like yeah, Illinois was huge. A lot of learning lessons, a lot of things, and then finally making it, right? Finally making it to like, yo, I'm really playing in the big house right now. That I
Mhm.
was playing on NCAA last night.
Yeah.
I'm really going to Wisconsin. Like, yo, that's really, dang, we really here. Dang, we in Michigan State. The guy from 300 came out there, rang the bell. Spartans! I said, yo, I'm really here. It's crazy. Penn State, everything, bro, everything. Just it was crazy. It was incredible. And then there was no real social media too, so it was a completely different world than what it is now.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
You wouldn't have got that at FAU, so you made you made the right decision.
Yeah, man. I know. I'm glad I listened to my parents,
That,
man. I
that
really
band
am.
would have been live at FAM though. That band would have got you right.
I know. And here's one thing too, like,
I ain't go.
I feel bad saying it, but like I had just knocked off, black colleges because at that time a lot of people weren't making it to the league.
Yeah, at that time you should have.
And
Let's
that
keep it
was
honest.
my, you know what I'm saying? And that was my goal. And like I hate when I tell people my story, like, oh, why you ain't? I was like, well, here's the reason. Like, I was trying to go play football and I
Yeah.
wanted to look good. Like, we went to UCF, they brought a jersey out. They said, Adidas? Nah, I can't go here. Nah, I need Nike. I hopefully this whatever school I get got Nike. Like that was the type of stuff that I was
Yeah.
on. I was like, I gotta have Nike, gotta have this, going to the NFL.
Yeah.
And I needed to go to the places that put me in that position, which
Right. Definitely.
is where I went.
Definitely.
It's draft season, man. I'm not gonna get on a tangent and talk about the Jaguars, but as we approach this season, what was it like for you? Like, did you have the mindset, or were people talking to you like, "Hey, man, you got an opportunity to play in the league"? How was it like declaring? Did you experience anything with the draft? And then what was it like actually going through that process to then eventually signing with your first team?
Yeah, yeah. So my process was super unique, and that's really where my story, I would say, not starts, but really there's a big chapter. My senior year, I'm a projected second round draft pick. My senior year, I got scouts talking to me. I got agents that's trying to hit me up like, "Hey man, we trying to represent you." Da 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 da. And me, I'm like, "Listen, I appreciate that, but let me finish the season, and then we can talk money." Because like I know if I don't contribute, these agents ain't gonna want me. So I was like, "Hey, I appreciate it. Yes, I'm interested, but let me keep balling." Well, I get hurt my senior year against Michigan State. We're going against the number one defense in the country, number one DB in our class. I'm like, yo, I get 75 yards, maybe a touchdown. I might go first round. He the number one. This it. Boom, I get hurt. Shoulder AC separation.
Mm.
There's about 6 weeks left in the season, 7 weeks left in the season. Doctor's like, look, you can do no surgery and play if we make a bowl game, or we do surgery now, scrap this season, and it'll give you a chance to like go and play in the NFL. He said, I'm not saying you can't play in the NFL if you don't get your surgery, but what I am saying is there's a great chance that once you're finally healed without the surgery, you could get hit again and it could get worse and then you're really done. So I was like, man, all right. Talked to my parents that was tough getting hurt. And they was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do the surgery. So the game was Saturday. I think it was like in October. I got the surgery that Monday or Tuesday, and boom, I was done for the year.
Hey.
Blessing in disguise. I got to be kind of a college student during that time. I knew I wasn't working out. I knew not working out, but I knew I wasn't practicing, wasn't weighing in no more. And I was like, shoot, like once my shoulder's straight, I'm like, man, I'm gonna see what Monday Night Joe's talking about. Let's see what these college kids be hanging out on. Cause at this point, football over for me, but I'm healthy enough. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of in between. So I was able to graduate early and then train specifically for the draft because I still had a half a semester there. Shoulder was done. So I did all my training, all my rehabbing, ran my routes, did pro day. Luckily, I didn't have to do the 225 test because I told them, I hurt my shoulder. Wouldn't have got 225 that much anyway. Gotta be working at all times. I'm telling y'all. Never had
Right,
to do
right, right.
220. I haven't had to do 225 tests. I've never done 225 tests ever in my life. Ever. Ever. Because of time and the situation. Never had to. Ran routes. 4-3. Boom. Actually ran a 4-4 at first. And never forget, Josh Ferguson was like, hey Lank, man, you gotta drive out of there and you'll get it. So glad he said that. And I'm so glad I listened. Boom. Next run, I was like, all right, let me drive a little bit more. 4-3-4. It's like, yo, I got it. Everybody went crazy. And I was like, yo, like somebody gonna pick me up off of that. Like I'm straight.
Yeah.
A few weeks after that, Indianapolis. We had a lot of teams at our pro day. Indianapolis had been in contact with me. Bourbonnette, who I love, one of the coaches, came and worked me out. Came to Champaign. Only team to work me out. I was like, yo, like y'all, he was running this route. He said, no, I'm not trying to kill you. Because that was not the misconception, but when teams work you out, they work you out. And they trying to see if you in shape. And you never know when a workout's gonna come. Somebody can call you like, hey, we gonna try to be in the city this weekend. We gonna give you a workout. So I knew like, yo, it's just gonna be me in there. I hope he's not trying to run me into the ground, make sure I'm conditioned. I hope he's just trying to have me run some route, show what I can do. We can talk. And that's literally what we did. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm hearing that I'm going to be a free agent. Once I got hurt, I was like, yo, now it's time to talk to these agents because they could easily walk the other direction. That's when the business turned on. I was like, yo, I got to secure somebody. Went with a guy, learned some lessons with him, obviously, but he did what he needed to do to get me where I needed to get to. So then draft day comes and I watched the whole draft, right? Tough. Seeing people going first round, second round, third round, fourth round. Fifth round, they're showing highlight tapes of guys that look like high school highlight tapes, high school footage. I'm like, where is this school? Who is this guy? Draft ends. Nothing.
Mm.
I'm like, dang, this thing over. Like, what? 15 minutes or so go by, going to my room. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody calling. Like, this crazy. I'm online refreshing. Some of my teammates getting picked up. Boom, my first call come in. Don't forget, I forgot who it was. Dolphins called. Answer the phone. Say, hey, it's Ryan Lankford. Hey, this is, what would it take to get you down here? I said, man, a phone call like this.
Yeah.
All right, this Coach O'Keefe, we're going to be in contact. We got your agent's information. We're going to give the agent a call. Great. Get off the phone. Phone rings again. It's my agent. Hey, I got some teams calling. Anybody calling? I say, yo, Miami just called, but they said they not getting in touch with you. So you got to call them back. And I pause the story here to tell all people moving forward. And this might not be an issue, but I only had one phone number out at the time, even though I had a house phone, even though my mom had a cell phone, even though my dad had a cell phone. I only had one number that people could contact me. So what happened was teams was calling me, my agent, this Indianapolis, yo, have you committed anywhere? No, I'm not nowhere. I'm trying to get my agent. Dolphins are calling me. So, all right, hold on. Dolphins called me. Hey, we tried to call your agent. Couldn't get in touch with him. What's going on? I said, I don't know. I said, oh, he's actually calling now. Hold on. Put him on hold. Same phone. Hey, got the Dolphins on the line. You want to talk to him? He's like, yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with him. Three-way. Now I can't take no more calls.
Calls. Yeah.
I connect him on three-way. I'm like, okay, I got him. I sit back. I'm like, oh, shoot. My phone ring. Different area codes I hadn't seen. West Coast. All these different things. And I'm like, oh no, like I can't take these calls. I can't even.
That's crazy.
I'm kind of stuck. Boom, they worked something out. They offered me a little signing bonus. My agent was like, no, well, Indy said they was gonna do this. They matched them, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna put you on a hold. So now I got three-way, my agent, the Dolphins, and they're like, hey, we're gonna put you on hold. Me, the way I'm thinking, overanalyze, anxiety, subconscious. I'm like, I don't know if their hold is like actually a hold where they're not listening listening, or their hold is like, just we not talking, da 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 da, but they can hear us. Because I wanted to ask my agent, yo, what's Indy talking about? And I'm not playing this game for the money. It's not about the signing bonus. Like, I want to go where somebody wants me, and like, Dolphins calling me cool, but they didn't come work me out. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't show any interest other than my dad used to play for the Dolphins, which
Right.
is still a dream of mine. Dolphins my favorite team. Things finish up. They're like, yo, so we give you signing bonus, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. My agent's like, yo, Ryan, what you think? I'm gonna say no. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, what do I gotta do next? They said, no, we'll get you all the information next, but congratulations. You are a Miami Dolphin. I was like, man, thank you, thank you, thank you. Got off the phone. I was like, yo, I really made it. My mom came down. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, we going to Miami. I was like, oh. My parents came in, gave me a hug. And yeah, bro, that happened. We went out to eat, went to Cheesecake Factory. And I love my mom, man. My mom be knowing. My mom be knowing. And I didn't say nothing, but it just ain't feel I didn't feel like I thought I should have felt. Right? So I didn't think nothing of it. Ended up going to Miami, flying down. They're like, yeah, we gonna fly you out pretty soon. Flew me down. All my stuff in Champaign and on campus wasn't broken down yet, so things just weren't prepared. I only went home for the draft. Went to Miami, started training. I get cut day 5, day 6. I'm still trying to find my way around. I'm still replying to DMs saying congratulations for going to the Dolphins. Like, that thing happened quick, quick. We had a couple practices, a couple of things. They called me up. They say, hey, yeah, man, you know, hate to have these type of conversations, but yeah, another opportunity opened up for us, so we're gonna have to let you go. I said, what? He said, yeah, so we're gonna need you to sign right here. Where do you want your stuff? You want to go back to Champagne or you going back to Jacksonville? Like, Champagne. Boy, they called me up probably like 12:15, 1:15. I was at the gate. First flight out. Delta, gone. That quick. Called my agent. I was flying to Dallas and then flying back to Champaign. Called my agent and said, yo, they just released me. What? What happened? I said, yo, I don't know. I said, I guess I didn't. He said, man, you got to capitalize. I was like, you're right. You're right. You got to. So land back in Champaign. Indianapolis calls me. They're like, yo, we saw that you got released from Miami. Like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. He said, yo, well, we got day 2 of our rookie. We got rookie mini camp coming up this weekend. Can you make it? I said, yes. He said, I think he was like, we don't have anything to fly. Like, you think you can make it on a drive? Because Champagne's a few hour drive. I said, yes, sir, I can make it. Drive like the day before. I feel like my car breaks down. Something happens. Anyway, make it to the camp. And I only participate in day 2 and 3 of the 3. Get off the bus, make a couple plays. Coach Regano screams, dang, Lankford came off the bus straight to the end zone. Coach Regano, making jokes. And then, yeah, ended up making a team, making a practice squad at that point and was there, for a year and a half. And boy, that
That's
was
dope.
awesome.
Right, right, right.
That was awesome when I made it up there, man. It was cool.
Is this Reggie Wayne, Peyton Manning era?
This is Andrew Luck,
Okay.
Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton, Pat McAfee, locker right behind mine. Pat McAfee, Adam Vinatieri's up there. Matt
Oh man.
Hasselback, Josh Cribbs. We brought Josh Cribbs in. Trent Richardson was our running back that year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What
you
was
know,
that like, man? Connecting with people like that.
bro, awesome, bro. Like it was crazy. First day, we finished rookie mini camp. It's all rookies out there. I walk into the locker room. This guy turns around. He's wearing number 12 jersey. He's like, "Hey, man, my name's Andrew. I heard you crushed it yesterday, man. Congratulations." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm Ryan. Thank you, bro." It's Andrew Luck. Just super cool. Just like, "Hey, man, I'm Andrew." Like, and just cool to be in that locker room. In that locker room, great coaches, great people. Shout out to my man DT David Thornton. Used to play for Colts for a long time, but he's kind of like their player development guy. Basically, he handles everything off the field, just making life easy for you.
Right.
He came in one day, and I remember guys making jokes about him, like, "Yo, you still think you want to play?" He said, "Nah, I don't want to play no more. Like I did that, I lived that. My job is I'm here to serve." And I was like, "Dang, how could somebody who is this close not want to play and literally just want to serve and help people? Like
That's real.
that's cool. Like I rock with that, and I never forgot him say that. So I always looked at him and respected him. And he helped a lot of guys, mentoring people off the field, walking the DT room. Hey DT man, I got this going on. Girl doing this. What know the Lord. So a good person to really confide in, a good mentor. And again, I've been blessed to have those type of people when I needed it most. A head coach like Chuck Pagano, who was all about, team and environment and like community and working together. Illinois, Ron Zook being a players coach, open door policy. Y'all come in and talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk fast. He taught me to do everything fast. Everything quick, everything with emotion. You gotta be moving. Life is too short. You slow down when you go to sleep. Never forget that story. We in training room. He eating a ice cream like that. Looking at that, I'm like, Coach, just why you eating ice cream so fast? Do everything fast. Do everything fast. Do everything fast.
Mm.
I was like, do everything fast. He said, yeah, do everything. Don't do anything slow. That's how you lose. Do fast. Do it with a purpose. Quick. Walking fast. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay. Do everything
That's
fast.
football. That's some football mentality and personalities, man.
I was
They
like,
they
okay.
they
I
drop
was
stuff
like,
on you like that.
I was like, okay, do everything fast. Okay. So now in business, it's like, yo, I'm trying to. Now I don't always move as fast as I can, but because you got to rely on other people. But there's so many like little lessons that I move how I move, and I tell people I play football every day. I live my life like I still am playing ball. Stuff that I've learned, everything. So yeah, NFL was great, short lived, but it was awesome. It was awesome on the practice squad.
That's what's up, man. I know Keezy has some questions about real estate. Did you want to ask him?
Oh, before we get there, though, I want to talk about what the end was like when you got to the end of your career football.
Okay.
What was that like? What was the feeling? How did you process that?
Yeah.
And how did you move forward?
Yeah. So CFL was cool. CFL really. So I left Illinois, left Indy after I got cut right before the final 53 cuts. Agent was like, "Yo, there's a team in Canada that's got your rights. Do you want to go?" Didn't have a girlfriend at the time. I was like, "Yeah, I'll go do my 2 years, get some tape, come back." Ended up playing 5 years up there. Right, Winnipeg to Saskatchewan for 2 years, Winnipeg for two, Ottawa for like half a year, and then finished in Vancouver. And what happened was they were what's the best way to put it? Different league, different money, different everything. But I knew early in my career that when it got to the end, I wanted to be okay with it ending. And I
Right.
never wanted to be the guy to be like, man, I could still da 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 da. It's like, nah, I did it. I don't have to say I wish I would have or so I always had that thought process in mind. Timing wise, CFL was happening. I was finishing my last year in Ottawa, which had, in my opinion, the best facilities. And I was like, yo, if this ends after this, I'm gonna be done and I'm content with it. Well, I got released like week 2, week 3 off of a mishap between me, special teams coach, during a play, fumble type of thing. It's Canadian League talk. I could give you I don't want to get in the weeds on how the play happened, but mistake on my part. Own the mistake. Anyway, they called me in the GM room. That next day, we played Winnipeg, which is a team I was at the year before. So they probably thought, oh, he trying to. They released me. Boom. Special teams coach was like, yo, that's crazy. Quarterback can throw X amount of interceptions, but returner makes a mistake and he gone right away. Whatever. Get released. I'm like, yeah, I'm about done. This ain't it. My mom's like, yo, there's still a chance to play. You should still try to go. Go out to Vancouver, do what I got to do, have a great time. Once I get to the point of football about to end, I'm like, man, I'm kind of ready to be a guy again. Like, football kind of done. I get released from BC, or BC, my contract ends in BC. GM's like, yeah, we're going to bring you back again. GM gets fired. So I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know if they're going to bring me back. And then COVID happens. Also, within that, really trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next in life. I was working part time, so doing golf course maintenance at Sawgrass, being active, cutting cups, doing golf things, just staying moving around, having a lot of talks with the Lord, really trying to figure out where I'm gonna position myself. And the true story is, the Lord revealed to me that I wasn't gonna play football no more, and I heard it crystal clear. And I remember when he said it, I was like, wow, like, really? And I was okay with it. And when I knew that I was okay with it, I was like, wow, like, yeah, this really is about to be over. And it's I was excited because it was like, now where am I gonna go next? What's gonna be the next thing? That last year in CFL, I was nominated as an all decade returner. I didn't win it, but just the fact that my name was in the rankings, I was like,
Right.
I can go out like that. That's pretty cool. You know, I went up there and my favorite player was Devin Hester my whole life. So my last part of my career, I was only a kick returner, which is what has been my dream my entire life. Love running routes, whatnot. But dang, it's nice to just go out there, catch you a little punt, see if you can make something shake. If you don't, go sit on the sideline, be a good teammate, and up fourth down again. Let me go back. Boom, catch another one, run a kickoff back. You know, that type of thing. Be the special teams guy, and I was able to be that my last few years. So um, had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun doing that. But that was really what kind of helped me get through. I was kind of prepared, always up front, like, hey, this is gonna happen at one time, and when it does, I'll be ready to go.
Right. That's real, man. Because everybody don't tell you like that.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people, more people who, like you said, hold on and
yeah.
can lead them down a bad path once that
Right.
once
And I
that.
never, I never wanted that because I saw that so much.
Right.
I was like, man, like, I want to be able to walk into the barbershop and they not have to talk about me talking about me.
Right.
Like, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about what's going on in the world. Not, man, so you remember back at Paxson, man, I was, man, yeah, we can talk about that, but like, that's that,
That
we
ain't
gonna
that
have
ain't
bigger,
your that ain't the end of your story.
we gonna have bigger fish to fry later
Right.
on in life. You know what I'm saying? So, now we love those people that come into the barbershop and talk like that because it's funny to hear the stories, to make them feel good. But I was like, man, I see more than that for me. That's not, I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
Yeah. And another thing too, just thinking about what you shared about your senior year, it's cool that you're able to walk away. I'm assuming in one piece, right, from a health
Man,
standpoint,
yes,
right. So I think that's a
bro,
blessing in itself that you're able
blessing.
to walk away. You're not limping. Your shoulder seems like it's intact.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's good to hear too.
Yeah, AC separation and a high ankle sprain. I had a high ankle sprain my junior year. Left leg. Those were the only real issues. I mean, other stuff, natural, tight hamstrings, tight quads, growing a little sore, that type of stuff. But no other real, jam finger, hurt thumb, that kind of stuff. But nothing serious other than that shoulder and my high ankle sprain. But I'm good. I'm blessed. I could throw the shoes on right now and go run a mile if I had to. I could go. Someone's like, you can still play? I say, absolutely. Do I want to? Absolutely not. I'm good. I'm a fan now, and I'm glad to be a fan.
Right. 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 That's what's up.
As we close the chapter on, football, any last words or inspiration or tips you would share specifically for like young men in Jacksonville who may be
Yeah,
interested in finding their way through high school to college to the pros? I know it's way different. Would love to hear your take on NIL,
yeah,
but anything you would share about how they can help themselves move through this journey? You mentioned support, you mentioned,
yeah,
get your name out there, get the film,
yeah,
all these different things. But any words you would share as far as young men in Jacksonville,
yeah.
you trying to reach that same goal?
Yeah, a few things. Number one thing is just control what you can control, right? Number one thing that you can control is your effort. I think effort is so important. Whatever you're gonna do, give your all. Study people like you, right? So I will watch John Brown. I would watch small, quick receivers because that was what resembled who I could be and whose game I could be. So find some people that you want to be like, that you can resemble your game around, and study how they move because the game is the same. Players are going to get smarter, players are going to get bigger, but if you can develop yourself based on that, that's key. Also, learn football. One thing that all my coaches at all my exit meetings, whenever, I was getting cut or whatnot, they always said I was a plug and play guy. And that meant I knew all the positions, know all the positions. I tell people, listen, I hate to say it, but somebody gonna get hurt and your opportunity gonna come.
Yep.
Right? So you can't just be like, oh, I'm just a Z receiver. Well, what if the formation flip? You know the X. Now know the concept. If you know the concept, that increases your opportunity to play. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I only know the slot. Well, guess what? The outside receiver went down week 4 and they need somebody for week 5. If you know the outside receiver and you can ball in practice, you're starting. And they might never think of that name again. So as long as you know the playbook, know the stuff, Be a good player, be a good teammate. That's the biggest thing. Help people. Be a good teammate. We working on the same we working towards the same goal, you know what I'm saying? So I would say that study and yeah, and give it your all. Yeah, it's a lot of little nuggets that you can get, but those will be the biggest things. Control what you can control, study the playbook, study the plays, and play special teams. The more you can do, right? So I honed in on my soccer. I could kick, right? They didn't really, it
Yeah.
wasn't a big thing, but
Yeah.
then when the right people saw it, they was like, you know, I was joking out to practice one day in Illinois, punted the ball. Next thing you know, they put a package in just for me to punt. I was like, oh shoot, like okay, it really is the more you can do. So the more you can do, you know, it just increases your chance of getting on the field and be coachable. That's I need to actually reiterate that. I wouldn't have said be coachable in the past, but be coachable. Understand that coaches are adults and coaches just want you to succeed. And that's a hard thing to grasp sometimes when you're in the heat of the situation. Now, most coaches, I want to say all coaches want you to succeed. Now, there are some coaches that, you know, you do have a little rift personalities, but for the most part, coaches want you to succeed. And if
Yeah.
you show them that you're working hard and doing what you need to do and you want to get better, they're going to try to do what they can do to help you and get you in a position. Now, if you're out there just missing assignments and wondering why they mad, well, you're not handling your business. You're not handling your job. And you're getting evaluated all the time, every day. You're always being evaluated. When the camera's off, you're being evaluated. You're always being evaluated. So don't think that you're not being evaluated. Oh, it's just no. You always being evaluated. Every aspect of your life,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to teams.
That's real.
Yeah, we just want to bridge this gap, man. So I appreciate you sharing that specifically for the
Absolutely.
hometown. One thing you miss, do everything fast,
Do
fellas.
everything fast. Do
Fast.
everything fast.
Do
Yeah, if you make a
everything
mistake, make it full speed. I heard that one too. If you make a mistake, make it full speed.
fast. Before I ask you about real estate, and I think Keezy has a question.
hmm
What let's see, how should I phrase this? What's your take on NIL, right? Because you didn't get to participate in NIL. What's your take on that? And do you believe it's changed the landscape of high school and college football?
100%. 100%. More bad than good. It's a little bit of both, right? Yes, NIL, name, image, and likeness. Fellas need to be getting, and women need to be getting compensated for their likeness, right? Period. Now, where things get tricky is when it becomes now this pay to play type of lifestyle. That's where things get a little muddy with the waters.
Right.
But the good is, you know, being able to get compensated for your God-given ability, right? You know, or whatever ability that you've worked on. So if they're selling number 12 jerseys in the stadium, I should be able to get a portion of that because that 12 is my number. You know what I'm saying? You're using my likeness to sell. Happens to quarterbacks all the time. That number two, if you're a quarterback at a school and you're number two, it's two jerseys everywhere, six jerseys everywhere. You know what I mean? And you know you would never get that. Now, what's tough, what's going to happen, has already happened, is the, how can I say this? The I've arrived
Yeah.
mentality
Yeah.
due to NIL. I saw this clip about the new Colorado quarterback, just lost his name now, freshman now, driving a Lambo, got iced out Darth Vader chain. Boy ain't played it down yet. Not saying he can't play, not playing he ain't good, but there used to be this, you got to earn it. I
Right.
came in as a freshman. I was like, I know I'm not playing. I ain't earn it. But they needed me to play to compete, to make me step my game up, to make everybody else step their game up. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you're going to have to wait your turn. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to do your thing. And the biggest thing that's being with NIL that's not being talked about is that the NIL is really going to fall back on the parents. Okay? These are still kids at the end of the day getting buku money. Parents got to be establishing financial literacy early
Yeah.
because the money that these fellas and women are getting through NIL is enough to put away or to maneuver that if you didn't want to work, you might not have to work anymore. And again, not everyone's getting paid. That's another misconception. Everybody ain't making money off this NIL. It's only a small portion of people. Just like this transfer portal. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm gonna just hop in the transfer portal. There's thousands of players that have been in the transfer portal every year that don't get picked up. It's like, man, I wish I would have just stayed where I was at and maybe worked a little harder or not complained about the coaching because when you signed your name on that line, you should have been thinking, hey, this is a 4 year commitment.
Right.
I'm gonna do because I got 4 years. And yes, there's an upperclassman ahead of me whose position I want, but he's earned that position. He's done the work, you know. So that's kind of where I feel about NIL. I love that they're given the opportunity for money to be made, but it can cause a lot of things because I know for myself, there's a lot of lessons that I learned within football, right? And a lot of those lessons would have not been the same if there was money involved. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Money changes. Money changes a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know, we were getting our scholarship checks. If people weren't needed, like some extra Pell Grants or whatnot, cool. But like that scholarship check was not, we not swimming in dough. Like you got your scholarship check. If you lived on campus, you got less of your scholarship check because it already went to the school. But if you lived off campus, you got more of your scholarship check because what? You got to pay rent. You know, and yeah, we got meals at the stadium, which we can eat, but you know, you still got bills. So if you're not working a job, which you weren't really working a job until the summer when there was no school, you wasn't making any extra money. There wasn't any deals. You know, people did get illegal money, allegedly, not where I was at, but you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot different now than what it is then, you know? So it would have been a different experience. And I'm glad I played when I played because man, be hard. Transfer, even the transfer portal was a big thing. You right? Like you could transfer, but you had to sit a year. Now you got dudes that was at University of Florida, like, nah, I'm going elsewhere.
That's
Starting at
crazy.
Georgia next year. Like, what?
Crazy. That's
What
crazy.
type of what type of commitment are you showing? Because what's gonna happen is these NFL scouts 5 years from now are gonna start seeing stuff. Okay, we got a kid. He went to Oregon,
Huh?
Tennessee, then he went to Texas, then he
Yep.
went to JUCO, and now he's at Alabama. Well, what does that say about commitment?
Right.
What does that say about team chemistry, camaraderie? What do those mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the snowball effect that's going to come from all this, in my opinion. And I'm no expert. That's just how I feel.
Makes sense.
Or man, football. Congratulations on that journey, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate your insights and information there. What led you to real estate, real quick? I just want to make sure people know what you do
Absolutely.
and what led you there. And yeah, talk about
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm in real estate now. Sell real estate, help people buy, help people sell. Yeah, I solve problems and I love to work on teams. That's ultimately what it is. And there's a part of me that really loves design, and organization and, you know, appearance and aesthetic and the way that things look. And also being a former athlete, going to a lot of guys' houses who are having birthday parties at their house. We're having a kickball tournament and they're bringing alligators and cheetahs because they had the zoo cater dinner. You know what I mean? Like, so I've seen, you know, these beautiful homes that are designed beautifully, and it's like not intimidating for me because, oh, this is just like my teammate's house. Like, oh yeah, that look like McAfee house. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that brought me to it. And I love the aspect of, you know, financially, you can make money. For me, I wanted something that gave me the freedom and gave me the ability of like, yo, my teammates are calling saying, yo, we going to Mexico next week and can you make it? I would have a job that gave me the funds that like, oh yeah, I could go make this trip the same way as I was doing stuff in the off season when I was playing football. So I wanted to maintain the way that I lived my life since or during my entire career, in a new career. And that's what kind of led me to real estate. Working on teams, being from Jacksonville really helps. Just kind of seeing how the city is developing, knowing areas. Even though I haven't lived in every area, I've been to an event in every area. I know someone who's from a certain part of the town that I can say, "Hey, this looks good. What are you interested in? Where are you from? Tell me about where you live. What do you like to do? And I can say, okay, you should think here. You should try this. And then just my football work mentality, is how I approach my business. Like I'm trying to go get it and you know we working on teams and I like to just say, hey, I'm the quarterback. You know, I can kind of, you know, position us to do what we got to do, but at the end of the day, you know, y'all got to run the plays. Mr.
Right.
Sellers, Mr. Buyer, y'all got to make the plays when I tell y'all, hey, here are your options. You're trying to buy, great, this is what we can do. You can do this, you can go this route, or you can go that route. What you want to do? Well, I want to try that route. Okay. Well, if you go that route, this will happen and this will happen. Seller, if you want to try this. The reason that happens because of the mindset, the football. So football is very technical, and a lot of people don't really realize that. Offensively, for example, we have a playbook, huge. We study defenses, broken down to first and 10, second and 10, third and 10, fourth and 10. First and short, second and short, third and short, fourth and short. First and 10, coming out. Second and 10, coming out. So there's broken down by percentages. So we know the first 15 plays are going to be scripted because we know percentage wise, 95% of the time on the third play coming out, they're running cover three. So we're going to run this play. That's how my brain is wired. So I take the same philosophy on real estate, breaking stuff down. Seller wants to sell at this price point. Okay, here's what's selling. Here's what's active. Here's what's closed. That's the difference. What's on the market and what's closed are different. Buyers, hey, we're trying to move like this. Okay, let's da. Here's this process. Here's this game plan. No. So I use the same technicalities that I use in football in real estate. And I feel like it's paying off and it helps because it's all numbers. And then it becomes marketing, the people game. And that's where I feel like I thrive when I'm building connections, talking to the agent on the other side, talking to people here, and they don't understand something or they want to understand something. Or I got to express to my seller who they already told me is super hard why they should work with us. Or express to a buyer why they need this house, even though the one down the street is just as nice. Nah. This one got your name on it
Right.
because of this, and this. You told me that you were looking for this because you know what I'm saying? Just putting stuff together. And that's what I love about it. I get fired up every time.
Yeah, you got the perfect personality for it. You got it. Now, when I what you laugh, we all like, yeah, he got it, and I'm the complete opposite. That's why I ain't doing it
Yeah,
no more,
like
bro. Like, well, you got it.
and a lot of things too, because everyone there's a certain sales aspect of things, but to me, I don't see it as sales because I just ask a lot of questions and I just listen to what you say.
Right.
So when I ask questions for a reason because I have a thought that like, man, I wonder if they would like that, but I can't directly ask you that because most of the time people are like, oh no, I'm not interested in that. But if I find out that like, no, you actually do want privacy, so
Right.
maybe it's not this type of home. Maybe we should look in this area because, privacy is important, but being closer to a school is more important, so like piecing things together like that because most people don't know what they want until you show them.
Yeah,
Right.
you got probe and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to figure out, what's, as we say, what are those pain points? What's their reason why, right? Why are you doing it? Because I don't do real estate for fun, right? Like it is
Okay.
fun. I enjoy it, but like I do it for a purpose. Like my purpose is to like help people, right? This is one of the biggest investments that people can make. And you can have one bad experience that damages it for the rest of your life. And it
Right.
doesn't have to be that way. A lot of the time, there's just not clear communication of understanding really what the system is or what the process is, or even why we're trying to do what we're doing. So I try to figure out like, yo, you said you want to buy, but why do you want to buy? Well, I'm just tired of renting. Well, are you tired of renting or you're just tired of renting where you're at? Because maybe you just need to find a different area, So like, just try to get people thinking more.
Let me ask you this, man. What's two questions? What's your outlook on the market right now in Jacksonville? What's going on in different communities as far as I don't know how plugged in you are to the black communities and what's going on over there on Moncrief. I mean, a lot going
Hmm.
on as far as gentrification and
Hmm.
the next part of that is what I'm kind of finding out as I rent with all of the firms and JWBs and who came in and bought up a lot of the
Yeah.
property. How is that affecting, you as a realtor, and how is that affecting the people in a negative or maybe even a positive light?
Yeah. Great question. So the market's going to be the market, right? And I think what's better is to figure out your strategy within the situation, right? We can't control interest rates, we can't control inventory, we can't control a lot of stuff, but we can control the play we run amongst the situation, right?
Okay.
Some people want to buy, right? And I want everybody to buy if they can. If they can't do it, I advise people like, hey, don't go house broke. You're not going to say that Ryan Lankford helped me buy a house and now you struggling. That's not my job. My
Right.
job is to tell you like, hey, you have a chance to buy a property, gain some equity, and maybe do some stuff to get you in the game, to get the ball rolling so that in the future you can get that big house that we all want, right? Like that's the goal. I'm never my job is to not tell you to do anything. My job is to show you the options and see if they align with what your goals are. If they do,
Right.
we run into play. We making it happen. If they don't, we re-strategize, figure out what's important, and go from there. As a market, from a market standpoint, I tell people we're not in that market that a lot of people are used to, where homes are going up on the market, things are flying off the shelf. Things are still flying off the shelves, just at a different rate. Biggest thing that's happening is how you market your home and what your home or your property looks like really determines how it's going to sell and where it's going to sell at. Before, people were just kind of panic buying around COVID time, like, I gotta buy over ask appraisal, da 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 da. And
Right.
a lot of those people who bought then are trying to sell at that value, but
Yeah.
values haven't got there, right? For me, Jacksonville as a whole, Florida's great. Everyone loves Florida. Jacksonville, I think, is finally starting to show signs going in the right direction. We got this new stadium coming. Jaguars gonna start winning. I know they are. It's gonna happen. I got
Yeah.
faith. I got faith.
Come on,
My
Keith.
thing is, I'm putting it. Jaguars gonna be winning by the time the new stadium is built.
They
Cause
got to.
that's all that matters. As long as
Right.
they start winning when the big boys there, we
Super
good.
Bowl.
We good. But there's a lot of new construction coming to the neighborhood, coming to the area, coming to the city. Um, Jacksonville is a great place to live, right? There's tons of different areas within Jacksonville. There's tons of different things to do. There's all different lifestyles that you can have within the same city. And I think that's what's super cool about it. It's a super small, big, big town, small feel, I guess I should say. Um, but yeah, I love what I do. I really
Right.
do. I love what I do. And I love being kind of from Jacksonville and now being able to sell real estate and be like, man, I remember working on this street. Like, man, I remember there was a party back here in high school back in the day. Like, I remember we was at friend's house over here. Like, that's cool for me to see.
That's cool, bro.
That's what's up, man. I got one last question for you.
Absolutely.
Man. One last question.
What's up? Let's hear it.
Um, well, two. One is more on the real estate, and the other one is
Mhm.
just who's the Jaguars drafting. But first,
Mm,
um, if I was from out of town and I'm coming to the city of Jacksonville, I'm working with Ryan. What are you sharing as far as or informing them, about some things that you would share with out of towners about the city of Jacksonville or Duval County?
great.
What's a couple things you'll share with them about the city?
Great. Well, one thing is I like to know what's important to them, right? So in the conversation, I'll talk to them. What do y'all like to do? Where are you coming from? Why are you moving? What was your life like up there? Did you like to go out? Oh, we like to eat. Great. Jacksonville's great. We got a lot of great food coming. If you like Mexican food, we got a lot of good Mexican food places around town, and we got a lot of stuff that's coming. Shopping is growing as well. We got St. John's Town Center Mall, which is booming. Regency just got bought. They're going to try to revamp that up here in a few years.
Right.
We don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yes, that's so we're gonna see what that really looks like. So I would tell people that there's a lot of things coming, right? There's a lot of things coming, and there's already stuff in the works now. They got rid of the landing. That stuff's gonna be nice. All the stuff around near the Jaguar Stadium is gonna be nice. Jumbo Shrimp just redid their stadium, so if you like sports, we got a minor league sports teams. We got baseball, we got hockey, we got an NFL team, we got a basketball team. Little the 76ers, 79ers, I forgot what they're called, but they just, got a little basketball team that's coming up. If you got kids, plenty of communities with kids living in them, if I can say that, also with sports teams, flag football, softball, cheerleading, wherever you at, multiple field complexes, multiple things. If you're an outdoors person, you like to fish, intercoastal, St. John's River, one of the only rivers that flows north. A lot of people didn't know that. Like, great fishing, redfish, saltwater fish. If you're a bass fisherman, we got bass fishermen. Not the best bass areas to take home, but plenty of things to do for fishing. And then stuff is continuing to come, which is cool for me to see. St. John's Town Center Mall is growing, really expanding. Gate Parkway starting to grow. It's a lot of things to do. I tell people the only thing that we lack, because I be honest with people, the only thing that we lack is if you're trying to find good go out club bottle service Friday night, Sunday night live, this ain't the town for you.
Right.
This ain't it. We don't have it yet. Or when we did have it, it ain't last as long because Jacksonville gonna be Jacksonville.
Yeah,
People,
That's
people gonna get people gonna get shot.
and that's the other side of things. Jacksonville gonna get Jacksonville, so things can
yeah.
happen. But I tell people there's crime everywhere. There's
Yeah.
crime everywhere. You can do your research on where crimes areas are. You can go on the JSO website and kind of see the whole map. Going to show you it's going to be crime everywhere, and you just got to make a decision on kind of where you want to be. But I would
Or
say the nightlife, bottle service, all that, going out to the clubs, that thing's kind of out. But if you like just you and your family, you and your lady, you and some friends, get you a hookah or just trying to go eat, get you some
Hang out.
food, some hang out, and people watch, hear some music here and there.
Right.
We got plenty of spots for that.
Right. Right.
Plenty of
Right.
yeah.
spots.
Yeah, I got my property over in Durbin Park. I'm trying to. I've been hesitant. Well, I'm gonna keep it, man, because if I think the
Yeah.
Jaguars would win, you know what I'm saying? Everything
Yeah.
would be Gucci. So I'm gonna hold on to my property.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you got something,
Yeah,
I would say hold it. I mean, there's people that's trying to put renters in their homes and get residual income. And I tell people that's a thing to do. But keep in mind it's residual work for
yeah,
income. Like it's work. It's not just, oh, we got to rent it. We're just gonna sit on back and collect. No.
yeah,
You're working.
for
So
sure.
if that's the case, go ahead and hire a property manager. I know some great ones that that can do that, and that way you sit back and you really collect. You pay them the service, and do your thing. I'm at a point in life where it's like I'm gonna pay professionals to be professionals, and I'm gonna
Right.
sit back and
That's me.
why not? Why
That's
not pay
where
the
I'm at.
professional to be the? You don't want the professional to pay you for your
Yeah.
job, right? You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and pay a professional to do what they need to do for you.
All right. My last question, man. I appreciate your time, brother. This has been an
Man, thank you. I
awesome
got time. I got
conversation.
time. I'm here for y'all.
All right, man. You see Fred Taylor up top. Well, I don't know how yours is positioned, but I got Fred
Yeah.
Taylor up top. I got Playmaker at the bottom, and I'm representing hometown right now. So are you a diehard Jaguar fan? I just want to know.
So yeah, so I'm not. I would say I am a diehard Jaguar fan just because of
Don't die hard, bro.
being in the city, but I'm not as diehard as like, man, I love my Miami Dolphins. Now I've kind of gotten away from the Dolphins because now I'm like, yo, we here in Jacksonville, like Jaguars kind of lit. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be a Jaguars fan. It's one of those things. We win in the Super Bowl every year, ain't no question. But when we don't, it's like, hey, look, we knew we wasn't gonna win anyway,
Shit.
baby.
Super Bowl, Super
Good.
Bowl tomorrow.
Super
Super Bowl
Bowl, we
tomorrow for the
good.
Jaguars.
We win in the Super Bowl. When we don't, it's like I told you, we knew that. We knew that.
Hey, hey, man,
That's
that's
funny as
all
hell.
good. I thought you was gonna say you was a Dallas Cowboys fan at
No, no,
some
no, no.
point.
I did like Dallas for a little bit, but true. I like good football. And again, I think like Jaguar fan is cool. Like the stadium environment is always fun. You always gonna see somebody you know. I
Oh,
love that we got so much standing room at our stadium. Like it's a real good time to just get
yeah.
out there, and just kicking in the buzz zone. Fans always lit, win, loss, or draw. We having a good time out there. Like that's a cool environment. And then when the Jaguars are winning, it always seems like the city is just
Feel
Turned
good.
up.
fire,
Feel
just
good.
good people smiling, people talking
Crime
to
rate
you.
go down.
You
Crime
know
rate
what I
go down when
mean?
the
For
It's
real. Like
Jaguars
it's
crazy.
win.
real.
It's crazy. That what was it, a few years ago we beat Buffalo. I was like, yo, the city was just going crazy,
Turned
on
up.
fire. People hugging in the streets. What
Hey,
was it?
it don't
Turned up.
matter what you look like. You know
It
what I'm
don't.
saying? Like it's yeah, that's what I love. All right, here's my question, man. So the draft is tomorrow officially, right? Who do you think is going number one first, and then who do you think the Jaguars should pick?
Man, number one, my goodness, I don't know who going number one. I'm hearing a lot of talk. People trading up, people
Rated.
doing
Yeah.
things. I've got some guys that I'm kind of watching because again, I love college ball. But I think Jaguars, right? I would love to see them grab a running back out of Boise State, Gentry, right? I would love to see that. Now
I,
we
I would
now
like
you
that.
would you would say like, well, we already got solid running back game, which we do, but he's a player that can really, I feel like, take some heat off of Trevor Lawrence a little bit too. I was talking with somebody about that yesterday, actually, and then reading more up on. It, I was like, man, you have a couple packages for him, get him going. That could be something that could help. But our defense needs some help too. DN out of Michigan is nice. Mason
Okay.
Grant. He nice. I've been seeing him because I'm, Illinois. I like, one of those two are gonna go, or they might trade and then it's a toss up. Might grab a receiver later on. I don't know. I don't know. I wanted them to try to get Travis Hunter, from the beginning a while back, but I was like, I don't know if that's gonna shake up. So we're gonna see because draft day is always a toss up. Draft day is always, people trading, people are moving around, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So
What you
just to make sure, Mason Graham is not Taven Bryan. Come on, let me because Taven Bryan scarred me, so I'm not trying.
Nah, Taylor Bryant went to Florida, so he went to. That's why he went to Florida.
I ain't trying to get a Taven Bryan 2.0 on my fifth pick, man.
Nah. I think Mason Graham can do the job. Michigan,
Okay.
they got a good program, in spite of whatever else they have some good players, right? They got good players up there. And
Yeah.
the biggest thing, you just hope that you get somebody that's gonna come in and mesh well with the team. That's a big thing. Because you do get these first round guys. And again, you're gonna start seeing more of these um headstrong players because of this NIL dudes getting paid since high school. Like you're gonna start seeing the trickling effects, from that. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see who you think going.
I mean, I've been seeing the Mason Graham thing a lot,
Mhm.
and if I really was like, man, this is who I want, it would be Ashton Gentry simply
Yeah,
because he really is a game changer. Like I know off the rip is a game changer. And when
yes,
I think about our successful years, we ran the ball. We
yep,
ran the ball. Fred Taylor, of course,
yep.
Maurice Jones-Drew, Greg Jones, James
Greg Jones, I
Stewart,
forgot about
Natron
Greg Jones.
Means,
Yep,
anybody you can really think of. We have
yeah,
a dominant run game that balanced the pass attack and then the defense, right? So you can plug some holes on defense, right? We have a good foundation. We got two great DNs, in my opinion. And
hmm,
I really believe in the leadership that we have right now. I think that's
yep,
what I'm really most optimistic about. Markel, Keezy talking about we there's never been four first year anything. So I think it's first year head coach, first year
mm,
offensive coordinator, or
mm,
GM, and then Tony Baselli stepping into his role, like all of
right.
these rookies essentially, and that's never been done. But I think really what they're saying, they seem to all be on the same page. They're speaking
I
the
agree.
same language. So I'm actually optimistic about what they can do and produce. So we'll see what happens. But I know we got a hater in the building right here, man. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna lean with Ashton Gentry, man.
Yeah,
Trade
To
down,
get who? To
stockpile
get
talent.
who?
Stockpile talent because my belief with the Jaguars is no one player is going to get them anywhere to Super Bowl. So
yeah,
you stockpile talent. You said we got the new stadium coming. Get players. That's how the Patriots. That's how dynasties are built. You stockpiling talent. You're not just drafting one guy who may or may not be here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
5 years. So that
Good
that
point.
that, that that's always been my thing with the Jaguars. Trade down, stockpile talent, and you can fill multiple holes, and you can prepare for next year. Because nine
Hmm.
times out of 10, the Jaguars gonna be picking someone in the top 15 next year as well, just keeping the book. So do it like that.
Hater.
Yeah.
Hater. Cool, man. Any last things for Ryan?
Man, appreciate you, brother. Always, man.
Man,
You
thank
one of
y'all
the
for having
one
me.
young, you one of the young people who I could say inspire me. I can,
Yeah,
even as
man.
a young
Wow.
person, I see like, man, this
Much
dude
respect.
different. This dude different. As a 13, 14-year-old kid, I'm like, this little dude different. Like, you ain't
Thank
moved
you,
like all the
bro.
other kids, and still carrying on the day. With you last week, I was like, yeah, he got it. Like, you got that personality and all that. You know what I'm saying? The smile, all that. You got the perspective. So this salute to you, man, for always being as an upstanding brother, man.
Thank you, bro.
Everybody speaks highly of you, bro. Everybody speak highly of you for real.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I thank you, bro. Cause thank you,
No
thank you,
doubt,
bro.
no
That's
doubt.
huge.
All
I
praise.
appreciate that.
I see why though. A lot of this conversation really gave a lot of color to that painting, man, about why and the people who's been behind you, right? And the safety net that you speak of, right? And
Yeah.
what brought you to Paxson, your parents. Like it's so huge, it's so impactful, it's so powerful, man. All the coaches you shouted out, just everybody who's played a helping hand in who you
Everybody.
are today, man. So shout out to them. Shout out to you, my brother. This was a phenomenal conversation. I hope it helped somebody, but
Yeah,
I think just telling your story is great, man. Just to hear that
absolutely.
context.
And at the end of the day, fellas, at the end of the day, what really do it and keep me going, bro, is my relationship with the Lord. I
No
mean,
Amen.
doubt.
I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to tell the truth,
Yeah,
man. And that's the secret.
No
That's
doubt.
the secret. I didn't realize that until when you stop and look back and be like, man, you was just in the motion so fast, but the Lord was just dropping things and putting stuff and getting you to get exactly where He needed you to be. So now you can just truly, truly move in your purpose. And I mean that. I really live like that, and it's cool. It's hard, absolutely. Life is hard. Things gonna happen to you, but I'm always a glass half full. We can always find another way.
Yeah.
Somebody's, oh man, what a key that this happened. Don't worry, we only waiting 5 minutes. We good. The other day we was late. I was like, hey bro, like the timer's messed up, but we only waiting 5 minutes. We cool, you know.
Right.
So like it's
I
always
found I found a spot too. I got me a spot too.
good, perfect. It's always time on the clock, and I think that's really what it was. It's always time on the clock to still win. You always got time.
No
Hey,
Always
doubt.
got time,
speaking of the Lord, He blessed you with a young lady.
Oh yeah, yeah. Congratulations.
bro. Thank you, bro. It's
Congratulations.
great. Just she's awesome. And again, that was just a challenge in a life, just getting to be in this position because I'm not who I was before. I've had fair share relationships, try to improve after all of them. Look in the mirror and be like, hey, I could have done this better. What do I want next? How can I be? And just always try to get better and just trusting the Lord that my time gonna come and He blessed me right when I needed it.
Is she who chose my brother Reem to take y'all pictures, or did you know him?
She chose them. She all the vendors, any material that's coming from us. Yeah,
Yeah,
she picked all the vendors, man, and she's dope, bro. She's literally my best friend, and she know football too. Originally
For
from
real.
Alabama, so I'm marrying into the University of Alabama Roll Tide. We roll tide around here all the
yeah.
time. Saving, yeah, all the way. So yeah, man, just blessed. Just gave me a space to grow, let me, be me, told me like, look, you gotta stop working at the golf course and you gotta go full blown in this real estate.
That's
I'm
real,
like, hey,
man. That's what you
I'm
need.
like, yo, I gotta have some money. She like, you gotta study and get going. Then the money gonna come. I
Hey,
got you. I'm like, you right. Boom. Went in there, grinded hard. Took that real estate test like 6, 7 times. Cause again, I've been playing football my whole life. Now I gotta really go back to school. And the football, a lot of that was God given talent. So this was really something that I really was really working for, studying. I got hundreds of note cards laying around like I used to study football plays. Passed that test, I was like, oh yeah, this is
So
what I'm supposed to be. Let's
you
get it.
prospering. You prospering now look like too. So that's what's
Man,
up.
thank you,
yeah.
bro. Thank you. I'm just moving, doing what I do when it comes, one day at a time. Wake up every day. First words like, Lord, thank you for waking me up.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
8 years deep in the marriage, man. So I pray nothing but success and love and prosperity with you all,
Thank you, brother.
man.
Thank you.
And communicate and just be there, support each other, right? So be that backbone, but keep God first, as you already alluded to, man. Thank you. Thank her for allowing us to steal some of her time, I'm assuming. So shout out to her, man. Shout out to you. We appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Ryan, where can they follow you? Check you out? Any info
Man,
you want to share?
everywhere. So social media, mainly I'm on Instagram, Playmaker3x4, which is the story you found before. RyanLankford.com. That got everything. I got all my real estate stuff. You Google Ryan Lankford, you'll probably see football. If you could type in Ryan Lankford realtor, then you'll see all the real estate stuff. And I'm trying to get it all together. But you type in Ryan Lankford, you'll find it at Playmaker3x4 on pretty much all the social medias. I'm really on Instagram. And yeah, reach out to me, connect. If you hear this thing, you're like, hey man, I got a question. I'm here to help, right? I'm always trying to help and put people in position. I'm knowing some coaches now, and obviously, if you got tape that looks the part, okay, I can try to plug it in and put it where I can put it, but I can't make any promises. But again, you got to look the part. You got to have all the information together. But again, because someone helped me, you know what I'm saying? Somebody looked out for me, and that's all I'm trying to do. That's all
Word.
I'm trying to do.
We bridging the gap.
That's
Check
it.
out Ryan Lankford. If you need a home, if you're trying to sell a home, talk to
Hey,
the guy.
gotcha.
Shout out to the Jaguars, Fred Taylor in the building, Hall of Famer.
The
Uh,
last time you're gonna see this mess on me.
okay. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, let Ryan know, what your thoughts were about the show. But have a blessed day. Go Jaguars, and let's go Ashton Gentry, baby, in the building.
Go Broncos.